Hi, I'm Kendra, and this is my series on treating yourself how you want to be treated. We all came here to put ourselves smack dab in the middle of exactly what we needed to put ourselves into, to bring to ourselves exactly what we needed to bring in order to evolve, to grow, to expand, to raise our consciousness. And we knew we're so much smarter than we give ourselves credit for. We know exactly what it's going to take for us to expand and to grow. And we know in the deepest part of ourselves, to our core, that those things sometimes are not going to feel good to us. So we're going to bring ourselves scenarios and situations sometimes that are going to feel so horrible, like betrayal and death. We're going to bring that to ourselves if we know that that is what it's going to take exactly so that we can expand and grow and raise our vibrations. If we know that what it's going to take is for us to be betrayed, for it to shock us and hurt us so bad, to get our attention, to make us stand up and face what we came here to look at, to do, to become stronger, to become independent, then by God, we're going to bring that in so that we can become that person. And we shouldn't be mad at ourselves or hate other people for doing this. Instead, we got to turn it around and look at it from a positive light. Look at it differently. What did it do for us? What did we gain instead of what we lost? It's kind of like weight loss. When you lose weight, yeah, you lost something. You lost weight and it felt great. But what did you gain from losing weight? You gained a lot of independence and freedom. You feel better. You can do more. You can exercise. You feel happier. It gives you confidence. So instead of focusing on the weight you lost, you focus on what you gained. And it's like this in our lives too. We have to focus on what we gained so that we can feel powerful and strong and confident. And the more that we do it, the better and easier it will be. And the more great things we can bring in. In my life, narcissistic, low vibrational, abusive people actually kept pushing me forward to be a better person. I brought it to myself and taking full responsibility and in knowing and admitting that I did it in the kindest way I possibly could to bring it to myself so that I could grow and expand. I know it for sure now. I needed it because I was saying in the last quite a few years in my marriage, do I hate myself this much to put up with this kind of stuff? And honestly, yeah, he was hurting me and pushing me away all the time. But ultimately, it was me hating myself by staying. I was trying to push myself to love myself enough to take care of myself, to get myself in a better situation so that I could grow and expand. Because I was to the point in my marriage where I couldn't grow and expand anymore. I had to leave. So I, like a baby bird, needed the nest to get uncomfortable enough so that I would fly, that I would leave this situation and become the bird that flies instead of the baby bird in the nest that needs attention and love and to be taken care of. I needed and wanted to become independent. And so when it finally came to the day where I knew that I couldn't stay anymore, it just wasn't a situation I could allow myself to stay in. I finally walked away and I was protected and I was stable and secure. I don't know how. It just happened for me because I finally did something great for myself, loving. It was the most self-loving thing I had ever done in my life to walk away. But I'm not going to lie. It was very dark for a while. It was very lonely. What I realized when I was betrayed was everyone was like that around me. I was surrounded by very low vibrational people who didn't feel any love for me. And I never, ever knew this. I was such a people pleaser and I was so worried about making people happy and codependent and to make everything happy and fun and to do everything I could do to make everyone love me all the time. I was so focused on that I didn't see the truth, and I needed my eyes to be open so that I could see the truth for once and for all. I needed this betrayal so I could look around and see my parents, my siblings, my aunts and uncles, my cousins, everyone around me. None of them were on my side. No one took my side. They say that in divorce, you find out the truth about everyone and yourself. And it couldn't be closer to the truth. I just never knew the truth about all of these people until then. And honestly, I didn't know the truth about me. I really just thought I was going to just walk away from this, move on with someone else, and go on with my life. I really thought that. I would have never guessed that I was going to take time to work on myself, to learn how to love myself, to bring to myself something way better this time. And the only thing that brought me through the hard time was my relationship with my two daughters. That's all. And I cared enough about my relationship with them to stay here on this earth and to not leave, because I, for the first time in my life, faced the sadness and loneliness, deep, empty loneliness of not having any attachment to anyone else in this earth. I had no attachment to anyone. I knew that nobody would care if I exited. It felt dark and depressing. It was the worst thing that I had ever felt, and probably one of the reasons I stayed in a horrible marriage for so long, because I didn't want to face this. But by going through this, by having the courage to go through this hard, deep, lonely, sad times, I was able to connect. I kept working on myself. I kept growing stronger. I kept facing my fears and raising my vibration. I did everything that I needed to do, even though it didn't happen fast. And sometimes I just felt so bad and my emotions took over. But now, because I faced all of this and I didn't move on with another partner, I stayed alone for almost 4 years now. I was able to start getting stronger and more confident inside of myself, which is what I needed. And I was able to see the dynamics of the other relationships around me and to be able to step back and observe and not absorb. I've really changed the way I look at things and people. I really appreciate now the low vibrational narcissistic people in my life, because I know I brought them in to push me forward. I appreciate them and love them, but in a whole different way now. Because for me, they are the hardest people to deal with. And that I'm learning finally how to deal with them is making me so much stronger and more confident. And that's exactly what I needed and why I brought them into my life. So I'm going to have to really appreciate it. I'm learning how to appreciate myself, to love and appreciate my space, and love and appreciate my energy, and not to waste it on stuff that's chaos, but to only protect it, love it, and give it to people who are also loving. I am helping others and caring about them, but in a different way now. I used to be codependent and a people pleaser. I used to disrespect myself all the time, but now I am learning a whole new respect for myself. And by placing this amazing respect for myself, and I'm getting used to this respect for myself, no one else can even get close to me that's not respectful, because my body doesn't react the same around them anymore, and I will not tolerate it anymore. And honestly, I was put in their lives. They brought me into their lives. Those low vibrational narcissistic people needed people like me in their lives to show them a real, true, authentic, genuine love, respect, and care, so they could actually see that there's something out there like that they could actually maybe finally have someday, if they're willing to let go of their ways of self-comfort, of their ways of control and manipulation, that there's something out there that exists that they actually want more than that. And if they want something that's real and genuine, they have to stop getting in their own way and learn how to be self-loving and stop being controlling and manipulating, because that's what used to make them feel safe. But it doesn't work anymore. They needed someone like me to grow and evolve and be around them, and not allow their manipulation and control to affect me the way that it used to, the way that it affects other people. They need narcissistic mortification. There's a term out there. And the best thing that you can do for any narcissistic, low vibrational person in your life is to mortify them. And that is to confront them, A, to humiliate them, B, and to soothe them, C. And those are the things that you need to do to them, but you have to get so strong first. And you have to work on yourself and spend time alone first and get your confidence and your strength and your boundaries set first. But when you can do those things to them, you're actually able to help them more than anyone or anything in the entire universe can help them. And they brought you into their lives because they unconsciously knew that you are going to get this strong one day and you are going to be able to mortify them. And they needed you to be able to do this for them so that they also can grow. But your boundaries have to be strong enough first, or you'll get sucked back into the chaos. And honestly, this is kind of happening right now to me with my own mother. She's trying to suck me back into her chaos, but that's all she knows. That's her safety zone. So she's going to do it. It's a given. And I have to know that. And I have to get stronger to be able to deal with her. And I am. And I'm working on it. And my love for her now is setting boundaries instead of doing things for her that keep enabling her to stay stuck in her own chaos. Instead, to help her to not stay stuck in her chaos. If she wants help, she has to be self-loving. She has to love herself enough to want to take care of herself and to be a person that is self-loving and that wants to and does take care of their self and their health and their mental state. And if we want to one day be in another relationship, partnership with someone that is authentic and genuine and loving and compassionate and mutual, then we have to become all of the traits that we want in another person. And honestly, we have to set boundaries, even though they're really hard, because we all want someone who has boundaries. We weren't able to have boundaries in our lives before now, because I know for me, asking for what I wanted when I was little got me into a lot of trouble. And then in my marriage, wanting something, asking for what I wanted, just got me pushed away. So in my life until now, I couldn't have boundaries. They pushed people away. But now I have to have boundaries because I want to bring in someone else into my life who also has boundaries. So that's what I'm learning with my mom. And I have to do this and I have to face it. And I have to be able to mortify her. And that's me being stronger because I have to be able to confront her on the things that she's doing. And it is a little bit humiliating, but I have to be able to go ahead and let her feel humiliated because of the way that she's living, so that we can stop enabling her to live like this and to want to have things better. And then to soothe her, because honestly, we care about her and we want to show her, look, we still care about you. We're right here caring about you. And that's love and grace, is soothing. That's what we have to do for narcissistic people, is still love them and have grace and soothe them, but not without the confrontation and a little bit of humiliation. So finally, if we want to completely stop all low vibrational narcissistic abuse to us and to our children, we absolutely have to do these things 100%. We can't stay stuck in being angry, feeling angry at the narcissist for betraying us and hurting us. Yes, it happened and it had to happen. And we have to face our feelings and feel hurt and feel betrayed. But we have to go on and do this self-healing so that we stop bringing it to ourselves, because we don't need to bring it to ourselves over and over. And we don't have to allow our children to be put in these same situations. We can be the example. We can stop it and change it now and be the example for our children, because all I want for my girls is for them to grow up and be loving, strong, independent women that don't need a man or a job or a circumstance or a situation in order to survive, but are able to be independent. And I need to be independent. And then interdependence grows from that, because you start to look inside when you become independent, to gain your strength from inside, from your own strength of your inner being, the God within you. And once you can attach to that, instead of attaching to or looking to anything outside of yourself, you gain confidence and strength in yourself, and you are independent, interdependent. And that's the only thing that I want for myself and for my children. And so I'm willing to face all of this really hard stuff, standing up to and confronting these narcissistic people in my life because I don't want this cycle of chaos to continue anymore. And I know you don't want it either. We got this. Thank you.